Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode. It's so nice to have you join us today and listen in. Today, I am very honored to have a dear sister come on board, Virginia Reynolds, aka Annie. And I find it really strange to call you Virginia because I only know you as Annie and I only see a Annie. I don't see a Virginia, but good to honor your human name. So, yeah, we met. I'd like to just share a little bit about how long ago was it? Maybe 2 months or something like that. On a spontaneous ride with a divine sister, and ended up at your house for a wonderful lunch and gathering, and all your gems and stones and rocks and everything in your house. And yeah, it was really, really amazing. So welcome and nice to have you here.
Oh, thank you, Divine Brother. It's such a blessing for you to come across, for us to meet, actually connect, and I love that. I love um, just meeting people. It's all meant to be, through a sister or through whoever, and how we cross paths. And look what's happened here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Exactly. That's it, eh? When we just surrender into what is and allow it to flow, such beauty happens. And it was interesting because yeah, I wasn't going to get it go come up that way, and then all of a sudden, there was a ride offered, and then Anhara said, "Well, I can take you to this place, but I've got to stop at friends. So here's your options." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then as we went further in the car, she was like, um, "Here's another option. I can't remember. It was different." And then we went a little bit further, and they said, "Oh, well, actually, you can come and join me. If you want to, you can come to my friend's place, and then I can take you even further to where you need to hitch to." And I said, "Yeah, okay, let's just do that. That sounds cool." And yeah, then we come together, and I meet you and Shelley, and
And
yeah, it was so beautiful.
and say even before that, I just knew. Like I got told by spirit, you've got to cook up a feast. You're having more than your sister coming, you got a few sisters coming, and then a brother walked in. How's that? And I was like, I got you. Thank you, spirit.
Mm,
Oh,
amazing. And yeah, I mean, you're so in tune with that. That's what I love about you, and could just feel your essence, how you vibe and flow and move with spirit. It's amazing.
and yeah, with the flow and vibe with spirit, my relationship with water, it's a big play in my life, or actually for the whole planet. But the flowing, continuously being in water. For those who don't know, I love I love just being in water, the flow of natural water. I say natural water, but the flow of rivers, lakes. I see it, and my whole body calls out. It calls me to actually go and sit there, sit in the flow, and it reminds me, as a Capricorn, I'm a goat, and to slow down. And so last year, my journey was to sit in many rivers and many lakes, and I love Lake Taupo, love that place, and sit there and just allow the essence of the water to flow through me, to remind me to just flow. As a goat, particularly, and as a headstrong person that I am, I'd come up against things. I'd be in the front line of stuff, or I'd be banging my horns on something. And yeah, I had an accident last year, which just reminded me to slow down. And my love of water even became my life. It was a life force. It gave me life, and it's been a journey, been quite a journey, brother.
Yeah, it's special. I mean, I know that you haven't been able to get into the water so much of late. Well, now you can again, but um, before that, like I think every day you were posting you're in water here, water there, water somewhere. And we are
Oh,
water, aren't we?
we are water, and it's really important. And it was crazy. I went down to do a trip down to Topol last year, and I was cold plunging. Like, it was winter time, and here I am walking around. Like, I'm well known for walking around in my swimming togs, and it's like a second skin to me. And to feel the cloak of water around my whole body, there's something that doesn't eat at me. I can't explain what it is when I'm in the water, but I download, and people, with sisters and brothers, have seen me change in the water. Like, I start glowing, and it's a life force for me, and it's a healing thing for me. And through my accident, and through looking after myself and nurturing myself, part of it was to be in cold water, and Topol seemed to be to my liking. So obviously the water from the glaciers that come down into Lake Topol, and to do cold plunging, and I pull up. I pull up because I very rarely see people cold plunging in Topol through winter, and I pull up, get straight to Topol, down to the lake. I get out of the van. I'm in my togs, and I look down, and there's a group of women in the water, and they're screaming, "Hey, sister, over here! Come over, another cold plunger!" And I get to meet these wonderful ladies, Jump for Life, they're from, and they've organised a meeting, a group of women that get together for cold plunging for health, and that's what I was doing,
Mm.
to help me with my pain. The cold plunging helped me with my pain. So I just recently had a surgery to help me with that. But that's been my journey presently, is water life force, the flow.
And so, what do you feel it is that, I mean, we know there's evidence around cold water plunging and how it supports the nervous system and everything and the immune system. But is there something more within that for you, do you feel?
I do, and it's only just recently that I acknowledged, um, for me personally, what my relationship was with water. And I'm going back to my mother's womb. And while I was in my mother's womb, I was very conscious of the womb waters that I was navigating myself in. And at the start of creation for myself, I was conscious of being in my mum's womb with the turbulent waters. And
Mm.
not only were the turbulent waters that I was in, it was very toxic, due to what was happening around with my mother. And my will to survive, my will to live in the toxic waters at that present time. But I was very blessed also, um, that the waters changed. There was a change environmentally around my mother, which impacted the waters in the womb for me. And that's huge, because I went from toxic waters to, so the toxic waters I recall were murky, the frequency, of unloved waters. And then suddenly, 4 months later, I'm in these waters which were full of blessings and love, that I'm going to be looked after. And it was a change in my mum's living, and change in
Mm.
my womb water. So I've literally just acknowledged this in my 52 years, and relate my love of water back to the start, back to the creation. Um, and yeah, so I've had many journeys with water, since then, when I was navigated out of, obviously, my mum's canal, and then I had the fear of water when growing up.
Okay. Hmm.
And I, yeah, the fear. I was fearful of water by myself.
Mm.
Fearful growing up. I couldn't be beside a full bathtub by myself. I was okay amongst people, around people. Walking along a beach by myself. There was no way I could do that by myself. If I had
Wow.
people around, it's a safety factor. I felt like I was being overwhelmed. Um, and it was only a couple of years ago that I was with Sister Anhara in Lake Taupo, and she was having a ritual of her own out in the lake, and I happened to be in the lake. I decided that I would go for a swim in the lake while she was there doing her thing, and then I was greeted by the four taniwha, and the fifth one being a massive big taniwha in Lake Taupo. So there was five taniwhas there, and that's where my fear of water disappeared.
Wow, just
And
disappeared.
it just in that precise moment, and then another door opened up, and this is where the last 2 years I can't get enough of. I literally can pull up. I literally can go for a swim by myself with no fear, and it's just been liberating,
Mm.
absolutely liberating, and it's broken down all these patterns and years of fear with water, when I realized that water is life, is our life force, and it's amazing what fear can do. It can stop you from opening doors, from for you to grow, and yeah, that's me at the present moment.
It's interesting that because what comes to me is if it scares you, then it's probably good for you. You know
Yeah,
that
yeah, well, that's
expression.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I couldn't believe how scary and how fearful I was
Mm.
of water, considering that things had changed in my mum's womb. The frequency and the love and the water even changed. That's my consciously conscious how conscious I was in my mum's womb, and the
Mm.
will
And
to
how
survive.
conscious you are of being conscious in your mum's home as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Now, that's, yeah.
And the surroundings, and I just realised that with my gifts, and each one of us have got beautiful, unique gifts, and I've just sort of realised with my sensitivity, that's where it's come from,
Mm.
is being so sensitive about how I was navigating the womb waters, but sensitive to the frequency within my mum's womb, the energy, my environment. And I do the same thing in life when I walk in. I'm a lover of energy, and frequency introduces oneself. And I can walk into places and I just know. I can't explain how I know, but I just know it's the same with people. I mean, people. It's the energy introduces themselves, the frequency, and whether or not my body, because it's like a magnet,
Hmm.
our waters, when we meet people, we meet environments, our waters um, tip or they attract to one another, and it's very magnetic, or they don't want to be in this environment, or they don't want to be around these people, and that's okay. That's okay. That's us honing into our gifts. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, it's amazing. So also you have your love of gemstones and all your sparkling crystals and rocks and stones that you have around you. And actually, if I recall correctly, because I'm sure I saw hundreds of them in your house, you said that you had downsized your collection from where you were.
I have, and and so I have a love. Obviously, I have a love of crystals and rocks, and that too. My love started off when I was down in Gisborne as a child, and I spent a lot of time with my father. and he'd take me out and we'd go fossil hunting in Gisborne on the
Mm.
beaches. And so I love that. I literally love the feel, the smell, the ancient, the ancient being of the rock when I was a child. And then that all went over the years when you get busy with life and you go down different ways. And then a couple of years ago, I had a cross part. I was at a crossroads and I was walking along the beach, and this is out the gate, walking along the beach, and I was pretty tired because I gone walked quite some time, quite a while down the beach, and I was going to turn around, and this bird, this manu, and I've got a relationship with manus, and started squawking, like literally trying to get my attention. And when you're at crossroads, you can either ignore it, keep walking, or you stop and you take note. And it was like spirit. Look, it's right in your face, Emmy. Here is a squawking bird, literally with his wings out, literally looking at you, literally doing a cunny dance on the rock in the middle of the river. What do you do? And I stood there and I spoke to the mother, the bird, and like, is there something? What are you trying to tell me? And he was stretching his neck down into the water. So yes, I took the message and I walked across to where he was on the rock, and he stopped squawking, and then he just put his head down on the rock, and in the water I pulled out a crystal. It was all slimy, it was all green and that. And I thanked him. I thanked him very much. Thank you so much. And I gave it a wash in the river, and it turned out to be, it opened a door, literally a door. Once receiving this treasure, this blessed
So,
gift from the
so you're
river,
actually wearing it today.
I am. I wear it everywhere. My life has just opened to having a relationship not only with the waters, because it's got me walking up rivers, and once I walk up rivers, and you're finding water holes that you've never swum in, so you're swimming there, but also you're blessed with all these crystals, and next thing I know, rocks and crystals are talking to me. Literally, I've got them all like, hey, I'm over here, I want to be unearthed, literally. And I couldn't understand it at first, like what was going on. And there was one time, I think it was 6 months ago, that I literally stood there and I went, shh, shh, shh. I literally had to tell, because can you imagine the frequency of the crystals that want to come out, they want to be unearthed, and they're telling me that they're here, like, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. It was like a hundreds of high frequency, like, here, let me out. So I had to quiet them. It's like, hey, I will get to you. Some days they're like, you're unearthing. One day you could unearth 50, next you could unearth 300.
Wow.
And I didn't realize to extent what was going on. And then one day it just sort of just went, oh, that's it. They want to be unearthed. And I keep telling people, if you're out and you see crystals, like, they want to unearth. And being as I was with my sister, Shelley, and we had unearthed so many crystals and rocks that day. And when we came down to the bottom, when we looked up where we had been, the light frequency that they were shining. And just like us, when we unmask and we unearth ourselves, look at the beautiful, pure, divine light frequency that we unmask ourselves. And same with the crystals, they all want to come out. And it sounds
Beautiful.
crazy, I know.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I can resonate too. I find it not easy to walk past a stone that's shining at you and calling to you, and I have had times where I've been like, I'm always collecting them, because I haven't had that message where they want to be unearthed. They want to come out. It seems like they're asking to be picked up, and so I often do. However, I've had times, and I guess it's reflective of me moving around as well. It's like I can only carry so much and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
start putting them back
I
or
could
giving them away.
exactly, and that's the thing, some want to be unearthed and they want to be left there to shine their light. Some want to come, and some are blessing other people's journeys, and it's beautiful. And also, and for me too, I'm making pendants and whatnot too. So it's we're all getting blessed in some
Mm,
form of way. We're sharing the light and the frequency from the crystals and from the rocks. Oh, the rocks, our ancient brother rocks. That's another
yes.
story. That's that's another story with our brother rocks. Gosh, they've got stories to tell. You know.
You're welcome to share any stories, any and all stories you wish to on this platform.
Oh my goodness, where do I start? It's just crazy. It's just crazy out there with amongst the rocks and our travels where our waters take us. Literally with the sister and I, we go into the rivers and walk up walk up a little bit of bush, and we're guided. And this is the thing: if we listen to our into our inner temple, and it's like anything, if we listen to our temple, we listen to what our temple wants to eat, what our temple wants, what it doesn't want. This has been my journey the last couple of years. So to walk into a place unknown, we either know that we're welcomed or we're not. Are we accepted or are we not? Do we push it because we're walking into a different law, LORE, law, the natural law, and being super sensitive, and same with the forest or the bush or everything. There is a lot of elementals, a lot of stuff out there, a lot of respect, and for us to walk in and hone in our gifts. When you're in a massive space of the forest and the bush, you're super sensitive, and so are they. They're mirroring back to you. So when we're going in there, I know, and I'd be interested about this with people who are in the bush all the time. Like, do they see different elementals and see different creatures? Because at the present moment, we're seeing a lot of different creatures up in the bush, and it's come to, I don't know how to explain. It's like vortexes or portals have been opened up in the hills, and different creatures are coming out, and that's how conscious. Um, like I've literally sighted some unusual creatures that are not earthborn here, and yeah, either that or I've taken too much mushrooms. I'm just joking, people, but
You don't
everyone would
need
say yes.
mushrooms when you're so awake
No,
like you. No.
but yeah, there's different creatures that have come across. On my birthday, January the 9th, we were up and we had taken a different trek up Mount Te and that's a very sacred mountain. All mountains are sacred. Our brother rocks are sacred. Everything's sacred, actually. But
Mm.
I was so proud because I climbed a few boulders and we found these magical water holes, and then we went further up after a swim and came across a creature that I haven't seen in my whole life, and also coming across portals. And so what could be on one side of the world could actually come into our earthly plane, um, if people wish to believe in that. But I've certainly got my attention.
Mhm.
Certainly got my attention now up there, and I there's a little bit of like I don't want to play into fear for me because I don't want to stop myself from going up into the bush and everything like that because it's so divine up there. But it certainly opens your eyes up to other worlds. And yeah, that's me. That's me at the moment, brother.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I feel as far as seeing them, I guess it's reflective of our consciousness, and where we're at on our journey. I'm sure there would be times where people would see them but not be aware that they'd see them. They'd like maybe sense something or wonder something or be looking at something but having no idea actually why they're doing that. I would imagine because like you say, they communicate with us, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in a good space walking through nature that they would be excited to see, but maybe they just don't have that awareness that there's living beings right there.
Yeah, yeah, and you're right about that. It's just where we are in our path, and that's okay. You know, we've all got different senses, and I
Yeah.
guess for me, I'm so open,
Mhm.
and that's the thing about being so open too. For those out there that are really open, we've also got to remember to protect ourselves and in our line of mahi, our line of work. And if we're open so spiritually, um, let's be serious. There used to be a lot of stuff that used to happen to me on the spirit world,
Mhm.
and I couldn't understand as to why till my partner at the time said to me, "Well, what do you expect? You are one big shining light, and particularly when it comes to dark time, your light's still shining bright. So if there's anything in the dark, where are they going to go? They're going to be attracted to the light." And so that was an eye opener for me,
Mhm.
and from that night when he was telling me, I was like, right, you know, we've all got to remember to have spiritual practices, and for me, I've got to continuously keep myself safe
Mhm.
in what I do, into shielding myself and keeping myself safe from all of that. Because I have many stories, like a lot of other people in their lives, of just conscious of a lot of stuff that is out
Yeah.
ethnically. Ethnically, is that the word? And the ethos, right to the galactic stuff, to the mothership that's hovering over the Thames, Firth of Thames, years ago, to other stuff. It's yeah,
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, I mean, I had a medical experience in the forest where I was living a few years ago, and it's got a lot of Lemurian sea crystals underneath, and some beings had created a dark force to hide it. And this day I was in a bit of a funk, and I wasn't in my center, and I literally fell in a trap. So there was traps set up etherically, energetically, but I physically fell through a hole that I was standing on the ground and then it opened up. And it wasn't until I worked with a sister of mine and we figured out what was going on and then we did some work on clearing the land. But yeah, I actually physically fell through a hole and hurt myself that was set up energetically,
yeah, yeah,
and yeah, there's many other stories that go beyond that kind of stuff. So I do get it. And yeah, I'm very aware of setting my field before I go. And also, connecting in, asking for permission is super important. It's not a choice, it's something you just have to do,
no, it is, it is. Can't forget that. Yeah,
No, no, and that's also been a journey. When I got my Reiki 2 initiation and I was driving back home when I was going past a forest, and there was a walking track that I wanted to go to just to help integrate the energies and be in nature, you know. And it was the middle of the day, and I came across a possum with a broken leg. And I was like, oh, possum, you know, okay, so cool, I can give you healing. And I got into my groove and nothing happened. And I was like, and then I got in like, oh, what's going on? And I said to him, look, sorry, I'm not sure what's happening. I'll just go on my walk. And if you're still there, that means I can give you a healing. So I went on my walk and I came back and he was still there. So, oh, yeah, it must mean, you know, I'm deciding that I can give this possum a healing and went to and didn't work again. So then I just asked, like, what? So what's happening? And the possum just said, you haven't asked permission. And I was like, oh, yeah, sorry, I haven't. You're right. Can I give you a healing? He went, no, no, this is my journey. And I was
Yeah.
like, thank you. Thank you, brother. Oh, yeah. Sometimes I learn the hard way, but
Hey, I'm right there with you. I've learnt the hard way too. Many years, many years of learning. But no, it's brought me to the journey of the last couple of years has brought me to a sense of calm within oneself. You know, the whole year of learning to nurture oneself, to listen to oneself, and to actually open up, to work with your shadows and accept, acknowledge, honor. And the biggest thing for me is love thyself.
mm.
Love every single part of yourself, love the single piece of hair on your head, right down to your toes, love every single. And I think I'm going to share this because I've just come out of a major, well, it's not major surgery, but a big surgery. And previous to that, the sisters thought they'll get together and we'll have a ritual around. I was looking at losing my belly button, my tummy. So I'm down in Taupo. I'm in a beautiful ancient forest off the Napier. Is it the Napier Taupo Road? Or a Pepe Forest?
Y- Yeah, the Kaimanawa forest is from you enter it from the road that you drive from Taupo to Napier.
Oh yeah, yeah. This was another little forest. It wasn't the
Oh,
Kaimanawas, but it
yes, the
was,
one on the left.
yes, the one on the left. And so we went into there, and just amazing. Like if anyone's been, it's Tree Brothers. So I was asked to choose a tree brother, and um, the beautiful Tree Brothers spoke to me, and I thought, yes, this is. I was welcomed. There was roots everywhere, the tree roots, and so I laid there and I bared myself while they were doing a ritual and honoring my pitul, my tummy and everything, because I was looking at losing that in the operation. And I haven't always loved my tummy. And it was funny through the ritual with the sisters and just being honored and loved by the tree brother, just wrapped his roots around me. It was like a cloak, and then I morphed into a void of just divine love, like a connection as above. The tree brother, he was just like his branches just touch out of this world, and then the roots went straight down. So I cannot explain the feeling, but in that moment, just the love that was around me and love for self. And in that present moment, I was like, after all these years of not loving my tummy, I so loved my tummy. I don't want my tummy to go now. I'm going in for an operation, 52 years, and I've never loved my tummy. What's going on? And, having this conversation in my head, and then the tree roots, him hugging me, just calm me, brought this inner peace, and I love my tummy. And to cut a long story short, so when I had my operation, I was supposedly meant to lose that. Well, I didn't. And
Mm.
so now I am honouring, because there's a lot around your pital, your creation,
Mm.
the womb stuff. And I am now in total honour of my womb, total honour of my tummy. Oh, I love every little bump. I love, brother. Like, it's like you have to love others. You have to love yourself. And it's easier said than done. And I know some people out there say, oh, for Pete's sake, Annie, you're always talking about love and everything like this. But I so think it's very true that to love others, we have to be loving ourselves, nurturing ourselves. It's the essence of who we are.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, so true. So true. And I feel, it's probably the hardest thing for 99.9% of us
Yeah.
to truly
And,
love every aspect of ourselves.
you know,
Even
and,
to,
and also,
sorry.
sorry, no,
I was just going to say, even to, I think even for a lot of people, even the things that we love doing or our body does for us, we don't even love our body for that on a really deep level. We almost take it for granted or think it should be so or something like that. So how difficult is it going to be to love the things you don't like about yourself? Like, yeah.
yeah, and have a laugh. Have a laugh with yourself.
Yes,
I
totally.
had people around me and they said, oh, you're just so free, Annie. And I'm like, well, if you can't laugh at yourself or laugh with yourself, you know, how can you laugh? Laugh, love, and live life.
Mm, love
And
it.
the other thing too that I am practicing myself is being being present, being present in the moment and nothing else. It may sound easy, but it really, really, really is a big practice to do. Trying to shut down your mind, what are you going to have for dinner, or what I'm going to do, and I've got to do this, and I've got to do that, or turn off your phone, or if you're going to have a talk to someone. One day I had one of my support workers in, and I put my phone down, and I was looking at her, and she spoke and she said, thank you. And I said, thank you for what? And she said, thank you for being present. You don't know how many people do not or are not present while I'm here doing work, or while I'm here asking questions. Like they've forever got their face in the phone, or they're doing this or doing that, and we don't count. And it brought it back to us being present. And it's quite a big journey being present
Hmm.
in everyday life and living in the moment.
Hmm. Yeah, for
And
sure. And I find it really interesting because I feel when we get on a spiritual journey, it's one of the things that come in kind of early. You understand of being present and loving yourself, and then you go into these modalities and healing practices and workshops and learn this and learn that and do this and do that. And it's the next thing and the next thing. And this is the thing now and da da da. And at some point, you come back to just make it really simple. The foundations, be present and love yourself. Because that's been my journey.
exactly, brother. It's like this big walk around the bush. Like we literally have to walk right around the bush to see everything, feel everything. And then when we come home, it's like, wow, really? Really? And I love that. I love what you just said, because it is so true with a lot of us on our spiritual paths, um, doing all of these workshops and all of that stuff, and that's okay. But at
Yeah.
the end of the day, it comes back down to us.
Yes. Yeah. Fully. And I can remember really quite early on, I had someone ask me, what do you think's the best spiritual practice? And I said, well, I can't give you an answer to that, but if you're going to focus on something, I would just focus on living in the present moment, and for me, I think of that now and I just think, wow, that's profound, actually, and that's what simplicity is. Simplicity is so profound because our essence and our soul, that's who we are. We are simple. We're simple beings that are profound, whereas humanness is super complicated and yeah,
And
technical.
humanness can take us down so many paths,
Totally.
which can, which can add up to years and years and years. And sometimes we just don't come back from that humanness. I had
Yeah.
to laugh about it, yeah. But
And like you
no,
say, you just laugh at all that. That's an important thing, isn't it? I agree to laugh at yourself. It's a really important thing. It's part of that child playfulness, curiosity, and yeah, say stupid things, and that's okay. It doesn't matter. Just have fun with it.
and it is okay. I do it all the time. I like
Yeah.
literally get to know me. I do it all the time. I guess I'm a role model at laughing at yourself. That's what I am. That's what I do. We've got to have more laughter in our life, more love, more presence, and like you say, keep it simple.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you
so
are that. I don't know you for that long. I've only been in your company for a few hours on one day, and yet see it and feel it. You all of that, and you just beam. You just beam your love and light. Yeah, it's
and I
beautiful.
and it's also too. Apart from we've all got our internal journeys and internal struggles, but our self growth and working on ourselves. And people ask me like literally, oh, just you keep things so easy and light and fluffy and I thought, gee whizzzy, if you got to know my life, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy or fluffy, but I've done the hard yakka, and I'm happy that I've come out the other end. And it's continuous. And it comes down to every morning I wake up and I'm grateful. I'm thankful. After my operation, gosh, I am so thankful that I can breathe. I'm thankful that I don't that I, that I'm lucky I didn't get a bag because I swim a lot. I'm
Mm.
so thankful for such little things that I used to take for granted. And every day I'm thanking spirit every day. Thankful for a roof over my head, thankful for food, everything that we take for granted. And when you're thankful, grateful, you realize that you're blessed. And then you get to see your eyes open up more and you get to see all the beauty around you, the beauty in people, you know. And as a little girl, I used to get told, oh, you and your rose colored glasses. Even as a little girl, I would try and see the good in people.
Mm.
Even if it was 1%, I believe there was goodness in people, and always have the faith. But and then I grew up. But that's okay. I'm now focusing on my love of self, so I can love others 100% and be present with myself and present with others. That's my journey at the moment, brother.
Wonderful. It's so beautiful, and yeah, so is on point. We can get carried away with so much. I don't actually want to add a lot to that because I just feel that's a really, really potent message, and really beautiful. I will invite you if you feel to share any more. Um, yeah.
Today or another time.
Well, both. Either, or either, either, either. How do you say either, 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 either?
No, I think I will just leave it, leave it at that with many blessings and much love to all the souls out there. But times are tough and challenging out there, and just be kind to yourself. Yeah, love yourself, everybody. I know it's really hard to love that, we've all got shadows, we've all got secrets, but once we start acknowledging and honoring, it'll get better. Life is for living. You're just got to take that breath forward, breathe, or park your ass in the water like I do. Sorry, I just swore. But yeah, yeah, that's me, brother. Thank you so much for allowing me to share on today's podcast.
Yeah, you're so welcome, and it's beautiful to have you. And thank you for shining your love light with everyone here. And may you all go well. And thank you for listening in. And we'll see you next time. May the love that you are hug you for eternity.
Likewise, thank you, everyone. Much love.